"Look at him, thinking he belongs here with that delivery bag," sneered Ava Sterling, the white heiress to a tech empire. Her voice dripping with scorn as she mocked the black delivery driver at the glittering tech launch. As a courier for QuickLink, a high-end service, Kai maneuvered through a sea of wealth, balancing trays of experimental tech devices while enduring snide remarks, racial slights, and outright humiliation, like a drink accidentally splashed on his custom smartwatch. The unfair treatment stung, yet his resilience held firm against the elite's disdain. But when a powerful figure steps into the fray, the night takes an unexpected turn, hinting at a reckoning that could reshape his future. Will justice prevail? Stick around to find out. Don't forget to subscribe to our latest stories and share in the comments where you're watching from. This tale of courage and redemption is one you won't want to miss. The Tokyo skyline shimmered like a neon dream, its lights piercing the velvet dusk, reflecting off the glass facade of Zenith Towers. Tonight, it hosted the grand launch, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Sterling Innovations, a conglomerate defining cutting-edge tech. The air thrummed with the soft hum of prototype devices and the chatter of CEOs, tech gurus, and influencers. Laughter bubbled over the clink of synthetic champagne flutes, and the scent of ozone mingled with the crisp night breeze. Kai stepped through the service entrance, his QuickLink insulated bag slung over his shoulder, a stark contrast to the tailored cybersuits surrounding him. His dark eyes flicked to his wrist-mounted screen, double-checking the order details. Sterling's new quantum flow processors and mini-drones for the VIP section. His breath hitched as he adjusted his cap, his dreadlocks tucked beneath it, smoothing the creases in his QuickLink uniform. The ride through the chaotic self-driving streets had left his legs aching. His electric bike chained hastily below, but he carried himself with quiet resolve. This wasn't Kai's first delivery to Zenith Towers. He'd grown accustomed to the sidelong glances. At 27, he knew his role: deliver, get paid, and leave. But each trip to these gilded spaces carried a sting, a reminder of the chasm between his world and theirs. Kai's life was one of calculated sacrifices, taking extra shifts for his younger sister, Lena's, coding camp, and saving every spare yen for their grandmother's experimental cybernetic therapy. QuickLink paid better than his previous gigs, but it demanded he navigate the city's underbelly and its patrons alike, often under dismissive stares. Kai stepped into the main hall, his uniform a beacon of his outsider status. He clutched the QuickLink tablet, its screen glowing with the order total, 35,000 yen. His job was simple: get the payment, get out. But the weight of the room pressed against him. He felt the eyes of a few guests linger, their glances a mix of curiosity and disdain. Kai kept his expression neutral, his smile practiced and polite, but braced for the inevitable. A ripple of attention swept through the room. Ava Sterling, the 30-year-old heiress to Sterling Innovations, strode in with a swagger that demanded notice. Her bespoke, bioluminescent gown hugged her tall frame, her smile sharp and calculated, exuding the kind of privilege that needed no explanation. Ava was a fixture in the city's high society, synonymous with wealth and a reputation for wielding it like a weapon. Well, what do we have here?" Ava's voice cut through the chatter, her blue eyes locking onto Kai. Her tone carried a mocking lilt, sharp enough to draw the attention of her entourage. Kai's steps faltered for a fraction of a second, but he steadied himself. "Good evening, madam," he said, his voice clear. "I'm here with the QuickLink delivery. I just need your signature and payment." Ava tilted her head, her smirk widening. "Delivery boy, huh?" she said, loud enough for nearby guests to turn. "Didn't know QuickLink was sending this to our little soiree." Her words dripped with condescension. Kai's jaw tightened. The total is 35,000 yen, madam, he said, holding out the tablet. Ava leaned back, crossing her arms. 35,000 yen for what? Some overpriced chips? She scoffed. Kai swallowed the sting of her words. His thoughts flickered to Lena's bright face, to his grandmother's hopeful eyes. This humiliation was just another obstacle to endure. It's for the quantum flow processors, madam, he said, his tone unwavering. If you could sign here, I'll be on my way. Ava's eyes narrowed. Oh, I'll sign when I'm good and ready, she said, her voice low and taunting. You're eager to get paid, aren't you? Guess that's what happens when you're scraping by. The words landed like a slap. Kai felt the heat rise in his cheeks, but he refused to let her see him falter. I'm just doing my job, madam, he said, his voice a steady thread. With a sudden, exaggerated stumble, Ava lurched forward, her drink tipping. A cascade of iridescent blue liquid splashed over Kai's head, soaking his cap and trickling down his face, drenching his uniform and short-circuiting the smartwatch on his wrist. The laughter that erupted from Ava's group hit harder. Whoops, Ava exclaimed, mock surprise in her voice. Clumsy me, guess I didn't see you there, her entourage roared. Kai's chest tightened, the weight of their laughter pressing against him. He wiped the liquid from his face with his sleeve. Accidents happen, madam, he said, his voice steady. I still need the payment. A hush rippled through the crowd. Heads turned toward the far end of the terrace where a figure emerged from the shadows of a private balcony. Ethan Sterling, the 38-year-old billionaire and CEO of Sterling Innovations, stepped into the light, his presence commanding an effortless silence. He'd been watching unseen, his gaze catching every detail of Ava's cruelty. Ethan stopped near Ava's table. Ava, Ethan said, his voice low but resonant. Ava's smirk faltered. Kai froze, sensing the tension. Ethan's eyes locked onto Ava, unyielding. Care to explain why you're turning my company's launch into a spectacle of cruelty? Ava's face flushed. It was just a bit of fun, Dad, she stammered. No harm done. Ethan raised a hand, silencing her. Fun, he repeated, his voice icy. He turned to the crowd. Did anyone else find this amusing? The question landed like a stone, and the silence was heavy. Then, another voice cut through the air. No, Mr. Sterling, it was utterly disgusting. A young woman, no older than 18, stepped forward from the edge of the crowd. It was Lena, Kai's younger sister, her eyes blazing with righteous anger. She clutched a worn coding textbook. She had come to surprise Kai, hoping to glimpse the tech she dreamed of studying. Ava's eyes widened in recognition. Lena was a scholarship student at the Sterling Innovations Youth Program, a program Ethan secretly funded. Ethan's expression softened as he recognized Lena, then hardened as he looked back at Ava. Pay him now, double the amount, 70,000 yen for the trouble you've caused. And add the cost of his ruined smartwatch. Ava fumbled with her phone, the smirk long gone. Kai's tablet pinged with the completed payment. Ethan gestured to 2 security guards. Escort Miss Sterling out, he said, his voice unwavering. Her behavior doesn't represent Sterling Innovations. Ava shot Kai a fleeting, resentful glance, then was led away. Ethan turned to Kai, his expression softening. What's your name? He asked. Kai, he replied, his tone steady. His cheeks burned, but he met Ethan's gaze, his dignity a quiet defiance. You handled that with remarkable grace, Ethan said, then turned to Lena. And you, young lady, spoke with courage. What are you doing here? I wanted to see my brother, Lena stammered, gesturing to Kai. He works so hard for our family, Mr. Sterling. He deserves respect. Ethan's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of surprise mixed with understanding. Your brother? He repeated, looking between them. A thoughtful, almost knowing look settled on his face. Remarkable, both of you. The city's pulse softened as Kai descended from the glittering heights of Zenith Towers, his uniform still damp, his smartwatch fried. His electric bike waited like a loyal companion. The weight of Ethan Sterling's business card in his pocket was a quiet counterpoint to the ache in his chest. He pedaled toward home, his mind a whirl of exhaustion and cautious hope. He parked his bike outside a modest apartment. Inside, the apartment was warm. His grandmother, Masa, sat at the dining table, her frail frame wrapped in a faded shawl. Lena was already there. "Kai, you're soaked," Masa exclaimed. Kai managed a tired smile. "Just a rough night, Grandma," he said, then looked at Lena. "But Lena, you were incredible. You spoke up." Lena blushed. "I couldn't let her get away with it. And Mr. Sterling, he's different." Kai pulled out Ethan's business card. "He wants me to come by tomorrow, for a job, at Sterling Innovations." Lena's eyes widened. "A job? Like an actual tech job? Kai, this is huge. You've been killing yourself for us. You deserve this." Masa squeezed his hand. "Go to that meeting, Mija. See what it's about. You've got nothing to lose." Doubt lingered, a shadow cast by years of scraping by alone. The morning sun sliced through the city's concrete canyons, casting a golden haze over the sleek glass tower that housed Sterling Innovations headquarters. Kai stepped off the subway. The business card, its edges worn, sat tucked in his pocket. His heart thrummed with anticipation. The lobby of Sterling Innovations gleamed with modern elegance. Kai approached the reception desk. "Mr. Sterling's expecting you," the receptionist said. Kai rode to the top floor. Ethan Sterling's office was a study in understated power. He stood as Kai entered. "Kai," he said, extending a hand. "I'm glad you came." "Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Sterling," Kai said. "Please have a seat," Ethan said. "I want to give you a clearer picture of what we do at Sterling Innovations. Our mission is to break down barriers through education, job training, and community programs for people who've had to fight for every opportunity." Kai listened, absorbing his words. "I appreciate that, sir," he said, "but I'm not sure what you see in me. I'm just a delivery driver trying to make ends meet." Ethan's expression softened. "That's exactly why," he said, leaning forward. "You've got a perspective that comes from real experience, Kai. That's invaluable to us." He paused. "I'd like to offer you a role as a junior project manager in our social tech initiatives division. You'd help design and run programs, mentorship, scholarships, community workshops focused on bridging the digital divide." He slid a folder across the desk, outlining a salary that made Kai's breath catch. "What made you choose me?" Kai asked, his voice steady but searching. "You don't know me beyond one bad night." Ethan's smile was faint but genuine. "I've been around enough people to recognize potential. You didn't let that moment at the launch define you. You showed resilience, integrity, and a drive to keep going. That's what we need. Someone who understands the stakes, who can inspire others because they've lived it." Ethan leaned back, a knowing glint in his eye. "There's also something else. A long time ago, my father, he had an employee, a kind, brilliant woman. She worked incredibly hard, but he treated her poorly, very much like Ava treated you. He never really acknowledged her worth or her struggles. It's a regret he carries even to this day." Ethan paused, looking directly at Kai. "Her name was Masa. She was your grandmother." Kai stared, his mind reeling. Masa? His grandmother had worked for Sterling. The old stories about her struggles, about being dismissed. It all clicked into place. The irony, the connection, the poetic justice of this moment left him dazed. Ethan continued, his voice softer. My father saw your grandmother's strength, but he was too caught up in his own world to act on it. He always wished he had. When I saw what happened to you, and then Lena's courage, and learned you were her grandson, it felt like a chance to right a past wrong. To do what my father couldn't, and to honor Masa's legacy by investing in yours. A wave of emotion washed over Kai, disbelief, profound gratitude, and a fierce sense of vindication. I'd be honored to join, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Thank you for seeing me, for seeing us. Ethan nodded, his smile widening. Welcome to Sterling Innovations, Kai. You'll bring something unique to this work. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. As Kai stood, the folder in his hands felt like a key to a door he hadn't dared imagine. He shook Ethan's hand again, his grip stronger now, his heart lighter than it had been in years. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time, it felt like a path he could shape. Months had passed. Zenith Towers no longer buzzed with the elite's casual cruelty, but with the vibrant hum of innovation and collaboration. Gone were the exclusive launch parties. The sleek marble floors now echoed with the excited chatter of young coders and aspiring engineers. Kai moved through the space with quiet confidence, his customized Sterling Innovations badge glinting on his professional techwear. As junior project manager for the social tech initiatives, he was a cornerstone of this new zenith. His dark eyes, now brighter, scanned a bustling evening of coding workshops and entrepreneurial mentorship sessions. The memory of that humiliating night lingered, but it fueled Kai's resolve. His work, intertwined with his family's history, was a powerful defiance of the barriers he'd once faced. He guided a shy teenager through a robotics demonstration, his smile encouraging. "You've got this," he said. The girl nodded, her hesitation giving way to determination. Lena, now thriving in a Sterling Innovations-sponsored advanced coding program, often volunteered at these events. Masa's cybernetic therapy was fully covered, her health improving, her stories of the old days now infused with a quiet pride in her grandson's journey. Ethan Sterling stood near the terrace's edge, his silhouette framed against the city's glow. He watched Kai with quiet admiration, their partnership a seamless blend of vision and action. He approached Kai. "You've turned this place into something extraordinary, Kai," he said. "Zenith isn't just a building anymore. It's a heartbeat, and you're at its core." Kai turned to him, his smile steady. "It's a team effort, sir. This is what you wanted, a place for everyone." Ethan smiled. "I had the idea, but you brought it to life. Your perspective, your drive, it's what makes this work, and knowing it's for Masa's legacy. It adds a profound dimension." As the last guests departed, Kai stood alone on the terrace, the city's glow wrapping him in a silent embrace. He was no longer the delivery driver, unseen and undervalued. He was Kai, a force of change, his heart full of possibility. The road ahead stretched wide, its uncertainties no longer daunting but inviting. With a final glance at the skyline, Kai smiled, his spirit alight with the promise of a future he would shape, not just for himself, but for all who dared to dream. What an incredible journey we've shared with Kai, from a night of adversity to a legacy of hope. His story reminds us that resilience and courage can transform not just one life, but an entire community. What did you take away from Kai's triumph? How did his strength inspire you? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Your reflections fuel our storytelling, and we're grateful for every voice in this conversation. Thank you for joining us on this powerful ride for believing in stories that uplift and unite. If you were moved by Kai's journey, share this video with friends and subscribe to catch our next tale of inspiration. Until then, keep shining, keep dreaming, and we'll see you in the next.